What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today I have something interesting to show you. So back when Planet Coaster first came out, actually back in June of 2016, I uploaded a video to this very channel titled Slingshot Ride in Planet Coaster. That video is still live if you want to go watch it. It's terrible. I've actually just watched it back a minute ago to get some photos of the pretty dreadful attempt at building a slingshot all the way back then for this video, which I'm going to put up on screen so you guys can see my first attempt all the way back in June of 2016. But like I said, that video is still live if you want to go watch it, but I wouldn't recommend it. The audio is terrible, the video quality is terrible, the build is terrible, but yeah, all the way since back then I have pretty much wanted Planet Coaster or Frontier to introduce a slingshot ride like you see in fun fairs and parks all over the world into Planet Coaster. It's just something I don't know why I've just always wanted for my parks. I actually have never ridden on a slingshot ride, and this is probably one of the only rides in the world that I would never ride on. When you go on a roller coaster, there's so many fail safes that it's fairly unlikely that anything's ever going to happen to you on a roller coaster. They're so safe that you just never have to worry. Same goes for 99.999% of rides in parks, except for the slingshot. The slingshot is bloody deadly, and I would never go on one because you're attached by two wires, and if even one of them wires decides to snap, which happens quite often actually, and there's a video of a wire snapping before they actually launch one of these things. Yeah, you're pretty much an egg going splat on a frying pan. So I would probably never ride on one of these. It's probably one of the only rides I would never ride on, just because the chances of something going wrong is a lot higher than anything else. But then again, you're still more likely to get injured in a car accident or something like that. So I really shouldn't worry. But you know, just one of them things. I'm probably never going to ride on one of these, but I think they're cool, and I know people that have ridden on them, they say they're amazing, just because it's basically free fall like you get on a drop tower, but just like you're spinning at the same time, and yeah, you get the upwards forces and then you get the down. Yeah, it's pretty cool ride if you're man enough to go on it, unlike me. Oh, I really should go on these just once in my life, but you know that the one time I go on this, something bad's gonna happen, so yeah. Anyway, I've always wanted a slingshot ride in Planet Coaster, and the other day I was thinking, why haven't I tried to build one of these again since all the way back in June of 2016, when I think the game had only been out a couple of months. I think I used track from one of the trains for the big supports, and they were vertical and they looked really bad, and back then there was no track, no clip, so you couldn't attach anything to a track if you wanted to. So when I was trying to attach the wires all the way back then, I couldn't attach it because there was this like massive radius around the track where nothing could go. But obviously all those things have now come into the game, so you can attach stuff to tracks. But I'm not actually going to be using the track today to build the supports for this ride. I'm going to be building my supports based on actual slingshot supports from around the world. Two triangle-like massive pillars that slant outwards at a nice angle, so you can see the wires and all that stuff, and we're going to light them up, and it's going to look really cool. Hopefully you guys will like this. So if you want to pick up this for your park, or you have a park you think this will fit into pretty nicely, then the link should be in the description once this video has gone live to the workshop where you guys can pick this up. Feel free to use this in any of your parks that you want it to. Obviously this isn't a real ride, guests can't go on it, but I've made it so it has a platform. You'll see a little bit later on, so you can just connect a path up to this and make it look like people can ride on this. You know, it looks as FlatRide-y as any of the other flat rides once this is done, so it should fit into any of your parks. Obviously you can edit anything. If you don't like the base that we've built here, you can replace that for your own one. It's pretty straightforward to do. All the other structures shouldn't need to be changed, but you can switch around the base if you don't like the base. But yeah, as you can see, we're pretty much done right here with the actual ball itself. I don't know what this is called. I guess this is like the carriage that you go sit in. I always wondered why they were like encased in the ball, whether that was just aesthetic or whether that was like safety reasons, but there seems to be new designs now where you're not actually inside this ball anymore. It's just like the seat on this massive like girder. I'll try and see if I can put a picture up on screen for you, but it's quite interesting to see how there's like two different versions now. There's the one that's the original that everyone thinks of, where you get inside like the gyroscope looking ball right here, which is the one we built today, and then there's just like the double seat one. There's also ones that have like 3 and 4 seats in them now, which is pretty crazy because like originally there were only like 2 people per ride, but now they have ones that go up to like 3 and 4 people. Obviously that isn't what we built today. We just built the 2-seated version. But yeah, just think how like crazy the bungees are on these things. Like if one of these snaps, oh, you wouldn't want to be down there when that bungee snaps and it comes plummeting back towards Earth. Or if that thing whipped you, whew, you would probably be in two pieces. Yeah, I don't know why I've just always stayed away from these rides. I've been to places where these rides have existed and I've just never wanted to go on them. Yeah, I don't know. It's just something about them just seems really stupidly dangerous. If you guys have been on one of these, let me know in the comments what it's like, because I'm sure it's unlike anything else you can get in a theme park, because it's different every time. It's got to be different every time. The variables change, wind and, you know, all that kind of stuff at the time of launch obviously makes different ride experiences, I would presume. And if you have different weights of people sat in there as well, I guess that would kind of change how the ride felt. If you have 2 really heavy people, it probably feels different if you're in there with a really skinny person, maybe. I don't know. I've never ridden on one, so I wouldn't know, would I? But yeah, like I said, this is something I've always wanted in Planet Coaster, and they've just not given it to us yet, which is fine. Obviously, they're working on other stuff. Maybe we will get an official Slingshot ride at one point, but until then, you guys can put this one in your park. So this is actually quite a big ride, but it's not too big. I would say this is probably around the same height as that really big swing, the cable swing one that's in the game. I didn't actually check to see how tall this was compared to other rides. I probably should have done that. But yeah, it's pretty tall, but it's not unrealistically tall. I didn't like do the scale completely out of whack. It's probably in line with the scale of what this would be in real life, to be honest. It's pretty tall, but it's not crazy overbuilt or anything like that. But yeah, as you can see, we're just doing the first support here. These supports take ages because you've got 3 main beams here, all at different angles going towards the ground. So the triangles, obviously, that you're doing right here, they get smaller and tighter together as you get to the top. So as you can imagine, once you get to a certain point, the girders that I'm using here, the steel girders, are too big. So they end up poking out the side, which was a little bit annoying. I really didn't want that kind of like bleed over from the outside, but it's what I had to do if I wanted to keep using the girders. I could have switched to maybe a wooden plank or a wooden beam that maybe would have fit a little bit better in here, but you know, I wanted to have it all metal. I want it to be realistic, and it didn't look too bad in the end. So once we had one of these sides complete right here, what I wanted to do next was go through and color the tower. Now I went for a red, white and blue, color scheme for this. I don't know why. It was never intentional to make it look like the American flag, but it kind of yeah, it kind of turned out to look a little bit like the American flag. I just really like the colors red and blue, and then I did the inner support white just because that's what they were in pretty much all of the pictures, reference images that I looked up online. So that is why it turned out to be red, white and blue. Yeah, but it looks pretty cool. It looks pretty cool, and obviously we're gonna light this up at the end with all the lights and all that kind of stuff, so you guys don't have to do that. Obviously, if you guys download this, you don't like the colors, you can go in, change all the color schemes if you want to. You don't have to have the same colors. You can obviously change it all. And the lights that I put on the actual ball itself, you can go in and change the colors on there, or you can just remove the lights if you don't want the lights. And yeah, you guys can edit this in any way that you want to. You don't have to stick with the colors that I've put in here. I just thought that these colors looked pretty cool for a slingshot ride, and I can't actually wait to put this in one of my parks. It's going to be pretty cool to do that. So obviously once all the colors done, we do just copy and paste this one pillar over to the other side, and then we put the wires in. Once the wires are attached to the ball, then it's just down to decorating like the queue line and all of that, and then the ride is pretty much complete at that point. So there is probably another couple of minutes of build footage here. There's not really much I can commentate over. You've pretty much already seen most of the build. It's just finishing off the finer details in this now. So I'm going to put some music on for you guys, and you guys can finish the end of the video. There is some cinematic footage at the end of today's video as well. So if you stick around, you can see what it looks like at night. And remember, the download link is in the description, so if you want to pick this up, feel free to do so. It's on there, it should be on there as soon as this video goes live, so feel free to download it, use it in any of your parks. If you put this in one of your parks and you think it looks really cool, take a picture, add me on Twitter, @mot_games, sorry, over on Twitter. Links in the description as well. Tweet me the pictures of it in your parks. I would love to see that. Or join us on the Discord and you can put the pictures in there. But yeah, if you do put this in your park and you're able to send me a picture of it, I would love to see it, because that's what it's all about when you upload to the workshop, seeing people use this in their parks. So having said that, thank you very much for watching, and hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, remember to leave a like. Feel free to subscribe if you're new to the channel, and of course we'll be back in the next few days with another build video. See you guys then. Bye bye.